What is up, YouTube? You are listening to and possibly watching the Path to Exile Car Ramblings podcast. How you doing? I hope you're doing great. I'm doing pretty excellent. I just bought something that's going to lead to me something. So, I was in my card shop and somebody asked me, do you have any gold border cards? Well, I said, we have two. Cards that he scoffs at. It's not the real thing. So, he pulls out a curse track. I've never really been into a curse track, personally. I don't really see it much in PH. But the second card is Grim Monolith. John Finkel 2000 Gold Border Championship Series Grim Monolith. Normally, a Grim Monolith would run $80 to $120. I don't understand this is $80 to $120 on a Grim Monolith, on a Mana Rock. It's too tournament heavy. I'm always going on and on about how I don't like being super spiky and being super competitive. I did the CPH crowd for a while and I was, why are you blurry? Stop it. There. Yeah, I did the CPH thing for a while. It's just, it becomes the same 4 or 5 decks everybody's running. Whenever you see each other the next week, you're all gonna be running the same CDEH decks. That's not fun. That's not fun at all. I wanna play against somebody else's crazy janky deck that they came up with on the spur of a moment, during the week. But that's a little off topic. Today's topic is going to be proxies. What are they? Why do people hate them? We're going to talk about all of them. So, getting into it. First thing, what is a proxy? Proxies are some version of a magic card that represents another magic card. So, say you want to run in your playgroup a Black Lotus. You can't afford $25,000 to $200,000 Black Lotus. You can! And if you can, why would you run it? Because that is destroying money at that point. You're burning money playing the card. So, you proxy it. You run either a ghettoed out Sharpie version, or you spend a little bit of money and you find somebody online who will make you a pretty version that isn't, it's not the actual art, but they'll make a pretty fun one. You have my heart, you have my soul, you have my whole. I am all for proxies. I'm all for proxies for any and all cards. If you want to proxy out a $5 card by writing, what's a $5 card? Bohemian Rage. Rat, something like that. It's a common or uncommon card out of Cold Snap. There's a big blue blob out, it being in the feather deck, so it spikes the price. But if you want to proxy that, proxy it all day long. Take your Mons Goblin Raiders and turn it into a Bolduvian Rage. Go for it. I don't care. I'm here to play the game. As long as the accurate, wording of the card is on the card, I'm good. Write it out. Even, go to town. Write the flavor text too. I'm all for proxies. I proxy like crazy. Now, there's a difference in my opinion between proxies and just straight up counterfeit cards. If you are running the most up-to-date fake cards, that gets a little sketchy. Reason being, fake cards are there to trick somebody. Whether it is the person across from you at some Friday Night Magic tournament, or someone you're trading with, or even a store you're trying to sell to. Their existence is to trick somebody. Yes, you can make the argument that a counterfeit card, you want to run something that looks accurate. It's a little bit of a blurred line for me on that. Because, sure, I actually have a counterfeit Jace the Mind Sculptor. I don't remember where I got it. I traded for it. Somebody gave it to me. I don't remember. I've had it for a long time. And it looks great. It doesn't feel great. It's just a little bit too thick. And the World Wake symbol is just a little off. Just a little off. I can't figure out what it is. It's just a little off. I don't think I traded for it like somebody ripped me off. So it doesn't really affect me that I own it, and I play with it. Of course I play with it. I will never trade it. I will never try and sell it. Reason being, I feel like I would be putting it out into the world for it to potentially rip somebody off. That's not what I'm about. I want people to get the actual value of the cards that they're trading for, or even LGSs to get the value that they are paying for. Likewise, if an LGS buys it, they're going to resell it. And if, Timmy walks in and is buying a $20 card, I want him to have a $20 card. I don't want him to have some fake card. That's not, he doesn't know the difference. But at the same time, later on down the road, he's going to try and trade it and find out he got screwed over. And it all started with, the person with the Proxies originally. Well, really, it starts in China. Let's be honest. But that's where I'm at with fake cards versus proxies. I like to know that your proxy is a proxy. I like it to be marked somehow. Personally, I feel like you're trying to pull something over on somebody if you don't. I actually am a little bit of a hypocrite in this, in that I have not marked my Jace yet. I need to do something. I've been wanting to do something special with him, some sort of altar or something, just because I want it to look fake. I just haven't done anything with it. Just honestly, time has gotten in the way on that one. But getting back to proxies, there's a bunch of different versions of proxies out there. You can go on right now, just go on eBay, type in MTG proxies, and just look at what the gorgeous stuff people have made. There's handmade art, there's digital stuff that people can create. There's ways of creating your own. It's a little pricey because the materials you need to do it, they cost a chunk of change. I think it's like $50 for a bottle of this one chemical that you you smear on a foil card. But there's ways of, getting other proxies that you can actually make yourself. A cool trick you can do is take a foil card, any old foil common that has no value to you, preferably not anything after what was the set before Oath of the Gatewatch? Not Rise of the Eldrazi, that's way back. What's it called? Battle for Zendikar. Nothing Battle for Zendikar forward. So try to get something before Battle for Zendikar. So maybe Theros block would be good, Khans would be good. Just something in those few blocks would be great, because they're super cheap and they don't warp. They're not warped. That's the goal, is to find foils that aren't folded in half when you get them, or when you are doing this. So what you do is you take nail polish remover and you very carefully, you don't use too much, you put it on a cotton ball, put it on a paper towel, put it on a rag, you wipe off the art of of the foil. I am going to tell you, Battle Bond cards and other cards that were printed in Japan, you cannot do this trick with. Because the way that they did the printing, the foil and the art went on at the same time. So if you try to wipe off a Battle Bond card with nail polish remover, like the art, you'll just have a white card at the end. You won't have a foil card. The goal of this little trick is to have a just plain foil card that has no writing, no art. It doesn't have a text box, nothing. So that's, you know, that's the fun thing to do for me, is to make my own art on foil cards. Just know, when you do this, anything you make will not be tournament legal. If you put paint onto a card, it's no longer tournament legal due to it changes the thickness of the card. So don't go to some high-prized CEDH tournament and run your, you know, custom painted I don't know, Soul Ring. You know, don't run something that you've altered yourself, or even paid somebody to alter, because the thickness is going to be different. They're going to call a judge over and you're going to get yelled at for it. Likewise, don't do it for modern, don't do it for standard, yada yada yada. Don't do it for pauper. Anything that's in a official setting, don't do it. But if you're in your play group, if you're over at the LGS, nobody cares. Everybody's there to have fun. If you're cheating at EDH, you need the win more than they do. So, aside from that sort of proxy, let's go down the ghetto route. So, I have a box. It's a long box full of cards I've used through the years that just say simple one word on them, and it'll be the name of a card in Sharpie. So I'll have a goblin and it'll just say Skull Clamp across it. I played whenever Skull Clamp was legal, so I had to have 4 Skull Clamps. I think I only had 1 at the time. But, you know, that's how I would test out decks. Back then, Proxies weren't allowed, so nobody ran them. First time I came across a proxy, it blew my mind that somebody would have the audacity to run a card that wasn't the real card. I think it was like a lightning bolt or something ridiculous that had no real value, but they didn't own it, so they ran it, and it blew my mind. It was, I think, in black and white too. So, but it's totally fine to do that. Even now, if you pulled out a card that in Sharpie, you know, it just wrote over the whatever the name of the card is. Like, say you had a Mons Goblin Raiders and you wanted to have a Skull Clamp. If it said Skull Clamp at the top, it had the 1 casting cost, and then it had all the text in it, I would be 100% cool with that. 100% cool with it. This is something you would need to bring up with your playgroup, though, because you could get something wrong in the text. An and, an or, a may, and not having a may. The verbiage is very important if you're going to do any sort of a proxy. So, make sure it's cool with your playgroup. Just bring it up. Say, hey, I have proxies. They're ghetto proxies. They're just Sharpie out, you know, other art. Is that cool? They'll probably be like, what cards are they? Well, bring them up. Show them to them. Show them to them. You know, let them know. Be upfront about it. Likewise, if you're running cards without texts, something that's not common, like a cryptic command or something. Cryptic commands, there's actually a cryptic command that doesn't have a text box right now. It's obvious. Everybody knows what cryptic command does. If you don't, well, somebody will explain it to you. There's 4 modes, yada yada yada. But if you're running something like, mean, I brought it up in a previous video. One of my favorite cards, Seed Time. If you just have a card, it's a beautiful art. If you have the full art of Seed Time, and it just says Seed Time at the top, it's something you may want to bring up with your playgroup, because they don't know what that card is, most likely. It's a kind of a niche card. I actually saw somebody else play it the other day, and it blew my mind. I didn't know anybody else knew about it, but just bring it up. Just if you have something that you have altered that makes it where it's hard to read it, or there's just no text box, always let the other players at the table know. I am going to be running this Grim Monolith. I don't think it'll be a problem. I don't think gold border cards are a problem at all. If you want a gold border card, or if you want a card that's expensive, if you want a Force of Will, don't buy a Force of Will. Go buy yourself a $20 gold border Force of Will. They're not tournament legal, so you can't go to a Legacy tournament with it, and most likely, due to Modern Horizons coming out, everybody's saying Force of Will is going to be in it. If it is, the gold border card is going to go up in price. It's not tournament legal, but people are going to be running it in their kitchen table decks. They're going to be using it as proxies to test. The price is going to go up. It is. If it gets spoiled that Force of Will's in there, boom, price is going up immediately. So I have 2 or 3 copies of Force of Will in gold border. I think it was printed 3 or 4 times, so it's definitely out there. But yeah, they're about $20. And that's just not with Force of Will. That's just with all the expensive cards. Grim Monolith, Academy Rector. I think there's a Wrath of God. That one. I mean, if you really need a Wrath of God that bad, they're $5. I think the gold border one may be $1. I haven't checked, but some of them actually hold a higher premium than what the actual cards are. I came across one today. Oh, what was it? It's a super common card, but the only place you can buy it is right now on TCG Player, and it's running like $40 or something. That's insane. I wouldn't pay $40 for it. It was listed at it should be at a lower market value. Nobody's obviously buying it. It's a common card. But yeah, I like gold border cards. With today, everybody having all of their decks in sleeves, as long as your sleeves are not see-through. I have one. It ticks me off. I have one set of sleeves that I recently purchased that are a little bit see-through, and it drives me insane. I hate it so much, but I paid $10 for these stupid sleeves, so I'm going to use them. Thanks, Dragon Shield. I thought y'all fixed that problem years ago. Anyways, they're yellow, by the way. Don't buy yellow sleeves. Don't ever buy yellow sleeves. They don't even look good. They look like baby poop. Anyways. Oh, but yeah, gold border, great. Proxies that are ghettoed out with Sharpie, great. Even painted, hand-painted stuff, fantastic. Now, I said I'm not for counterfeit cards. Generations, I think 1 and 2, proxy those all day long. Go for it. They look so fake. You can look at the cards in the sleeves and know they're fake. That's how bad they are. You are not going to pull that one over on anybody. I have a Mox Diamond that's that way. I am totally good with it. But like I said, the newest technology is getting to the point where it's a little on the little scary side. If you don't know exactly what you're looking for, if it's in the sleeve. By the way, if you're trading with somebody and they have it in a perfect fit, take it out of the perfect fit. Always take the card out of the perfect fit. Always feel the card, make sure it's real. Always. especially if it's some sort of a money card. Anything $15 and up, take it out of the sleeve. Do a little bit of a flick test. You don't need to go as far as a light test unless it's a really expensive card. I'm saying 75 and up. But I think the lady in front of me is also doing a podcast. Oh no, she's singing along to her music. Oh, it's a guy. Oh, I feel bad now. Oh, he has a mustache. Oh, my bad, dude. My bad. Oops. Oh, hope the MTG community doesn't exile me. That'd be bad, wouldn't it? Anyways, I'm so transphobic. Getting back to it. Other versions of proxies out there that... So there's a set that I'm not a fan of. I think it's the collector's edition sets. They look good, except for they don't have rounded corners. They have the sharp corners. I'm not a fan of this. Reason being, actually, I think it makes it a little harder to shuffle. I'm not saying it for me. But I feel like that's a way of telling if there's certain cards in your deck, because that feels different. If you can flick the edge of your deck, and that's not against the rules. You can flick the edge of it as long as you're not looking at the cards, and you can know exactly where cards are at that point. That's whenever I have a problem with it. I don't use those as proxies. Those are not ideal. Now, in the same realm, don't use Yu-Gi-Oh cards, don't use Pokemon cards, and then just write on them. Those are completely different. Like, you can look at a deck that has one Pokemon card in it, and you can pick it out, like, without even... like, it'll just sit differently. No, don't use those. Don't use those as proxies. Don't use a folded piece of paper that you think might be close to the thickness. No, just use a regular Magic card if you have to use one, and write on it. Don't try and get silly. It's just going to frustrate the people at the table. Additionally, if you're going to ghetto out a Magic card, make sure it's legible. I know some of you guys out there got some garbage handwriting, and I mean garbage. You look like you put your hand in a blender and then wrote the card, blood and all. It is bad, guys. Just, if you have to, get your sister to write the card name. She's gonna judge you hardcore for it. Let her. It's not a big deal. Like, get your mom, get your girlfriend, get your boyfriend if you're a girl and your handwriting is horrible. Get somebody else to write it for you if your handwriting is that bad and you can't put in the effort. Nothing worse than going, what card is this? And somebody possibly not believing you that, you know, you're pulling out the perfect card that kind of has a name that resembles the card on the card, or the name on the card. So don't do that. Don't make it hard for people at the table. So they're not really proxies, they're totally legal cards, foreign cards. I feel personally they're in the realm of proxies, just because I have to believe you pretty much if you're using it. So, fanning the flames, if you don't know what it does, you have to pretty much believe me or look it up yourself. And if you're going to be looking up every card in my deck, that's kind of time consuming. So at that point, you're just going to believe me. And I don't know. I'd rather you proxy out a card than run a foreign one. Although if it's a very super common card, run a foreign card. Those are fun. I mean, some of the some of the languages are just fun to see. Like just seeing Russian on anything. They have backwards R's. How cool is that? How cool is a backwards R? I think it's pretty cool. And then isn't it? What's the Jewish language? Why can't I come up with names today? Why can't I come up with anything today? Anyways, whatever the Jewish language is, they write everything to the right, and so text boxes are all to the right. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, I think. So, if you're running a planes and it's one of the older planes that has the writing down the right, yeah, that's pretty cool. It says tap and add white. Yeah, do it. Run that. That's cool. But if you're running, Thundermare or Shrieking Mog, do you know what a Shrieking Mog does? I know what a Shrieking Mog does. Most people don't know what a Shrieking Mog does. Shrieking Mog, it's a 1 in a red, 1/1 creature goblin, I believe. And when it comes into play, tap all other creatures. I love putting it under. Still can't come up with names today. It's a stupid artifact that can basically pump them out every turn. Yeah, so it just taps everybody else's stuff whenever it comes into play, and then I play my stuff and then swing. But yeah, I think if you're running pretty common cards that are foreign, that's fine. Obviously, go nuts on your commander. Do whatever you want. I'm a huge fan of giant sized cards, or the oversized cards. So I'm looking for somebody out there who would like to alter my oversized cards for me. I am a horrible artist, and I'd like some really cool stuff. I have ideas for decks. I don't have a Sliver Queen. I still haven't bought that Sliver Queen. It's $40. I know I can get one online for maybe $30, but I found one for $40, and I want it, but I don't want to pay $40. Anyways, I digress. Oversized cards are awesome commander replacers. I love it. It's so great because you can read the cards easier too, because they're bigger text, and they're already weird, so you can do pretty much whatever you want with them. Oh, I wonder if you can. I'm gonna alter one tonight, or not alter. I'm gonna see if the trick with nail polish remover works on a giant card. That would be pretty cool, because I know you can print out your own custom cards, and if you print out an oversized one, that'd be awesome. That'd be a great way of making money too. Buy a whole bunch of those giant foil cards, and yeah, that'd be awesome. Nobody's doing that, although I think the oversized cards don't sell that well. But yeah, so go crazy on your commander. The tuck rule is no longer in effect, boys. It hasn't been for years. Do what you want with your commander. It's not going in your library unless it's something that's supposed to go in your library, like a Fibblethip or something. I don't know, something else that wants to go in your library. Yeah, Fibblethip was just spoiled about a week ago, and I don't know, people. I think it has a place in EDH. I really do. In a no creature deck. So what you could do is run Staff of, not Domination. Prometheus Staff? Staff of Prometheus? No. It's basically the polymorphing staff. You could just stack your deck with it. And so you stack your deck and you draw 2 cards. So you could win the game that way. It's pretty sweet. What is that stupid card called? It's out of... I think it's only been ever printed once. It actually just spiked in price. I think it's like $12 now. It was for the longest time like 3 or 4. But anyways, I digress. Getting back to topic. Other versions of proxies, I think that's pretty much it. I think I've covered just about all of the proxies out there. If I haven't, you guys can definitely remind me in the comments, and then I'll address it in the next video. But I think I've hit all of the proxies that I've ever come across, at least. Those, yeah. Hand-painted. Obviously, anything that has a signature is not a proxy, it's a real card. Yeah, I think I've hit them all. Fun. Cool. All right. Well, I am going to go ahead and give you guys a card. It's one of my favorite cards that just doesn't get enough play. It's hilarious. When it comes down, it kind of angers some players. It's called Title Control. It is an enchantment. I believe it costs 1 and 2 blue. And it says, I believe it has a cumulative upkeep of 2, or yeah, it's 2, I believe. And so it says, whenever a player plays a red or green spell, any other player may pay 2 life or 2 generic to counter that spell. That's fun. Like, it's not fun for the players playing red or green, but I think it's pretty fun. It's kind of like its own little Iona. So, I don't know. I think it needs more play. I'm a big fan of color hating cards because, you know, there's no guarantee that there's even going to be a red or a green at the table. There's usually at least one of those. Same as, you know, my last video that talked about a single card, seed time. You know, somebody has to be playing blue and somebody has to play a blue card on your turn. Once they do, you get a free turn. So, I don't know. They're fun. They're super fun. But I think that's where we're going to end today. Thank you for listening to the Path to Exile Car Ramblings podcast. My name is JC. Please like, please subscribe, please tell your friends. We are getting no views on these videos. I'm putting a lot of effort into them. So, yeah. Anyways. Oh, and in the comments, let's see, what's a good question to ask you? Oh, yeah. How do you feel about proxies? I know it's a pretty typical generic question, but I'd like to see some sort of a conversation around it, because I know some people hate them. So, all right. Oh, see, that's another thing. See, I'm trying to end the podcast, but at the same time, I just came up with another thing to talk about. Why do people hate them? My reasoning. So, I love proxies. I'm a huge fan of them. If you own a card, don't play the card. Use a proxy of it. If it's an expensive card, if you own a dual land, don't run the dual land. You're gonna hurt it. You know, run a proxy of it. But some people don't like that people haven't. Okay. So here's the deal. I was playing a game one time, and I played a proxied Mox Diamond. They looked at it, they said, that's fake. Well, yeah, it's a proxy. Okay. That's not, you can't do that. What do you mean I can't do that? It's a proxy. It's not real. I'm not going to play a $200 card. Yeah, you can't do that. It's not the real card. So, basically, what the deal is with that is that guy wanted me to pay another person, not him, another person, and a fee, a $200 fee. Doesn't matter who the person was, just somebody, for a piece of cardboard that is official, that said, Mox Diamond on it, pretty much. Now, the proxy I was running, it looks fake. It doesn't feel fake. Was that me? Or was it me? Okay. It doesn't look fake. Or sorry, it looks fake. It doesn't feel fake. There's no reason that I could not run that proxy. It was a casual game. That's the thing that gets me. Is it's a casual game. He wanted me in a casual game to run a $200 to $250 card, the real thing, or not at all. Are we playing Magic? It's a game. It's a board game. We are playing a board game. I should not have to, like, even if I owned a real Mox Diamond, I wouldn't want to play with it. I would want to use my fake one, because I don't want to hurt my own cards. Like, if I own cards that are that expensive, I don't want to hurt them. Why would I do that? That's stupid. And anybody who has a problem with you running proxies, I don't get their reasoning. We all know what these cards do. We all know their effects. Having the real version doesn't make the spell real. So, I don't know. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being whiny and cheap and should pay the $200 for a real Mox Diamond so that I can put it into a deck and possibly get out one extra mana at the cost of a land being discarded from my hand. Doesn't seem worth it. Alright, guys, I am gonna end the podcast here. So yeah, like, subscribe, all that. Don't dislike, just dislike it. If you don't like the video, dislike it. Just let me know what I can be doing better. Let me know why you're not telling your friends about the podcast. So, alright, guys, I'll see y'all probably tomorrow. Have a good Monday.